All right, so it's been several weeks since I've been in this bin. I've been away, maybe 2 weeks, and I've learned a lot about worm composting. And the fundamental truth is that we're not using worms at all. We're using primarily microbes. We're microbe farming, and the worms just eat the microbes. Of course, then we get castings. But when you see worms literally climbing the walls and trying to get out of the bucket, that's not too many, but some. They could be exploring, but the conditions could be bad down there. It could be too acidic, too wet. And clearly it's very wet down there. I'm not thrilled with that. So what I have to do is I have to do two things. One is I've got to get this cardboard in that area. Should be simple. But I also really need to literally turn this over, the contents, to increase oxygenation. Worms have to have moisture, they have to have oxygen. So I might be out of balance, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I've gently turned over what I can. Clearly it's going to hurt some of the worms, but there's enough in there that should be good. Plus they regenerate under the right conditions. I added more cardboard. Yeah, it was a very wet mess down there. That's not good. Also, I learned that if you smell that kind of rotting trash kind of smell, the pile's probably gone anaerobic. Definitely an oxygen problem. Too much water, not enough oxygen, and it goes anaerobic, and the worms will not like that. They won't even survive in that. All right, so I'm now going to take, I haven't been in this bucket in about a month, so I'm gonna cease operating in this bucket, and I'm gonna move all of my attention over to this bucket for the time being. One more fact, I got a mortar and pestle, and I'm going to be grinding up dried, sanitized eggshells into basically the consistency of sand, sprinkling a couple teaspoons on my compost probably every time I add. That will fix the pH balance. Right now I'm certainly too acidic, and so that will make it more basic. Another thing I learned is that the depth of the compost really shouldn't be more than about, 5 to 6 inches, because otherwise oxygen will not penetrate. Worms like to operate at the upper strata, so I certainly don't want it too deep. Anyway, this is the bucket I'm going to add to. I'm going to start by I'm going to make a pocket probably, dump my new stuff in there, plus some cardboard. All right, so clearly there's some old food that I dug up. So even though it's been weeks, I've been overfeeding them. Really the only solution to that is going to be, well, start another bin, because I just have the scraps that I have. And this is primarily not about compost for me, it's about diverting food from the landfill. Anyway, I got my cardboard. I'm going to put that on the bottom. There we go. Nice corrugated cardboard. And then I'm going to put in my food, and I'm going to cover it. Try not to attract any pests or flies that I don't want. All right, good enough. And now I'm going to work on this final bucket. This is the one that I haven't been adding to all summer. Let me just see what the state is. Looking reasonably good. I am going to go ahead and take the opportunity to turn it and just see what's down there and introduce some more oxygen. But I'm not going to add anything to it. Okay, so I turned it over gently, and they've quickly gotten out of sight, but there was a few hundred worms exposed. No more food. One thing I learned is that when it's kind of clumpy and sticky, that's really not good compost yet. And so I very well may reactivate this bucket so that I can get some more cardboard in, so that I can get some more calcium in, eggshells, and I'm going to think about that. Yeah, there we go.